In the computational creativity community, whose goal is to develop AI agents that are creative in their own right, the current definition of creativity is that something is creative if it is novel, valuable, and unexpected. Notice that this deals not just with creativity in the sense of design creativity, but with all kinds of creativity. So this could be a scientific discovery that is creative, novel, valuable, unexpected. This can also capture art or music. The notion of value there may not be a monetary value, it might be of some interest to a recipient. Creativity typically involves both a producer and a receiver. Notice that this notion of unexpectedness is connected to David's notion of non-obviousness.
So, Ashok, what exactly is the difference between novelty and unexpectedness? If something's novel, isn't it also unexpected?
Good question, David. Novelty here deals with newness. Unexpectedness here deals with something non-obvious or surprising. Perhaps this will become clearer if I take an example. So imagine that we decide to entertain a group of 20 friends. We already know how to make soufflés according to a particular recipe. We'll make soufflé for 20 friends this time. We have never made soufflé for 20 people, so it certainly is novel, something new, something we haven't done earlier. On the other hand, we have known this recipe for ages. Something unexpected would be if we come up with a new recipe for this soufflé which tastes dramatically different, surprisingly different. Not just something new, but something unexpected. So far, we have been talking about the product of creativity, the result of creativity, the outcome of creativity. What about the processes of creativity? We've used the term here, some and other. Both of these terms are important. Let's first look at the term other. In this course, we already talked about several processes of creativity. Analogical reasoning is a fundamental process of creativity. We already explored analogical reasoning in the context of design. We just did that when we were talking about design thinking. One might be able to design a new kind of water pump by composing several water pumps in series if one can analogically transfer a design pattern from the domain of electrical circuits, was our example. Similarly, under analogical reasoning, we were talking about the processes that might be used to come up with a model of the atomic structure by analogy to the model of the solar system, which clearly is a creative process that cuts across large number of dimensions of space and time. Another place where we talked about creative processes was when we were talking about explanation-based learning. It seems creative if the robot can go to the kitchen and use the flower pot as a cup to bring you coffee. Here are three other processes of creativity: emergence, re-representation, and serendipity. A simple example of emergence is that if I draw 3 lines, 1, 2, 3, then a triangle emerges out of it. The triangleness doesn't belong to any single line. I was not even trying to draw a triangle. I just drew 3 lines and a triangle emerged out of it. The emergence of the triangle through the drawing of 3 lines is a kind of creativity. Re-representation occurs when the original representation of the problem is not conducive to problem solving. So we re-represent the problem and then commence problem solving. To see an example of this, let's go back to our atomic structure and solar system problem. Suppose that we have a model of the solar system which uses the word the planets revolve around the sun. We also have a model of the atom, and this uses the term the electron rotates around the nucleus. So the model of the sun has the word revolves, and the model of this atom has the word rotates. The two vocabularies are different. If we were to stay with these propositional representations, mapping between rotate and revolve will become very hard. On the other hand, suppose we were to re-represent this problem. We re-represent the atomic structure by drawing the nucleus in the middle and the electron around it. We represent the solar system by drawing the sun in the middle and the earth around it. Then, in this new representation, we can see the similarity, we can do the mapping. This re-representation is another fundamental process of creativity. Serendipity can be of many types and can occur in many different situations. One kind of serendipity occurs when I'm trying to address a problem but I'm unable to address it. So I suspend the goal and I start doing something different. Later, at some other time, I come across a solution and I connect it with the previous suspended goal. The story has it that in 1941 in France, Georges de Mistral's wife asked him to help her open a dress by pulling on a zipper because it was stuck. Mistral struggled with the zipper but couldn't pull it down. Later on one day, Mistral was walking his dog when he found that some birds were stuck to the dog's legs. Curious about this, Mistral looked at the birds closely under a microscope. He then connected the solution, the bird solution, to the opening of the zipper problem. And out of that was born the notion of Velcro, which you and I now use on a common basis. Now, just like the word other was important here, these are three processes. In addition to the processes we already discussed in this class, the word some is also important here. This is not an exhaustive list. There are in fact additional things we can add. For example, another potential process here is called conceptual combination.